That left hook is so long, isn't it, from Ngannou, and heavy.
Why that right hand? He's in it. Joshua can dispel. He buckled.
He knew he was throwing that. The first step he took, he knew exactly what he was going to do, Anthony Joshua, there. He wasn't having a look. He knew what he was going to do. He just walked up and went crack. And that's why I said it reminded me of Donald Curry knocking on Will.
Is aimed at ending the fight. Body shot, left hook, right hand.
And in the beginning round, he landed a beautiful right uppercut. That shot usually, on most days, takes Vladimir out. With a left hook, right hand, another left hook, the right body shot, left hook to the head, and down goes Vladimir. Vladimir was actually not hurt so bad right here.
The block his jab, that's what I think's caused the swelling on the eye. Good count. As I said, he's a sneaky counter puncher, Helenius.
He's fighting a really small fight. Robert Helenius is not a mug. Let's just hope Robert Helenius is okay now, because at the minute he's on his stool and hopefully he's okay.
And that, in a sense, is the win double, because you were talking.
Jab just snapping his head back, and the combination, he nods, but he's already starting to come apart. He did go 12 with Shannon Briggs, but Shannon Briggs a shell of the fighter he once was, and a right hand!
After seeing Anthony Joshua do that to opponents, he is very good, and you know, he could do that with anybody, if I'm honest.
Nothing wrong with keeping him busy, though.
No, definitely not. That was clinical. That was brutal. That Kiszczak just lunges in. You got to credit his bravery, but he's getting a pounding in there, and that's that. No, it's been stopped.
For Kiszczak, which was only going to become more and more painful. So glad it didn't go on too much longer. Excellent performance again from Joshua, and we'll be seeing him again in just over a week, I'm sure.
Well, all he can do.
But he's managed to get his left hand up so far, trying to come forward a little bit more, trying to lead off with his southpaw right, look for the left.
Got him! Right hand! Oh, and there's still a minute 40 left in this second round. And he's down again!
You got to keep out of the way. He was wide open, very upright, just walked straight into the right hand, which always looked on the cards, and couldn't do anything else.
I didn't see any head movement in the first round or second round for mine. His head was straight up and down.
But Joshua, like the Predator, is going hunting, and he's going hunting now.
Joshua, that right hand found its way home, and we saw the effects. Molina does not want to be in here now. The fight's over.
Stopped in the third.
Yeah, he didn't have a full training camp. You know, there was talk of Vladimir Klitschko fighting Joshua on this very date. And when that fight got sort of cancelled, he was sort of the late sub that came in. And the fight he had with Deontay Wilder, he seemed like he had more in the tank. He didn't rush it, didn't try too hard, just allowed his talent to flow. And Alexander Povetkin has never been treated like this and got the job done.
At the time of the stoppage, the three judges' cards, 58-56, 58-56 to AJ now. And you got a feel for Alexander Povetkin. I know that a lot of people thought he should have been thrown out because of the effort, a brave effort, and he was right in it until the last.
And all the way into the end. Credit to Povetkin. That was a hard knockdown he suffered.
Sprott, as you say, Jim, past his best now. Right hand comes through, and he's wobbled. He's shaken by that, and Joshua straight on him, and Sprott's in big trouble here. Joshua just teeing off. Says that will do. Bad way. He's on his feet now, which is good, and embrace as we just see the final punches once again, and embrace between the two as they go to the middle. But yeah, you can.
I mean, those are punches he shouldn't really have been taking.
Fight is still there. Joshua not letting him off the hook. Howard Foster having a close look now.
And as long as White returns fire once in a while,
which he is doing,
Foster
but look at the legs. There's a grin from White, but the legs are betraying him, and down he goes. Fight is still there. Joshua not letting him off the hook. Howard Foster having a close look now.
And as long as White returns fire once in a while,
which he is doing,
Foster
but look at the legs. There's a grin from White, but the legs are betraying him, and down he goes.
Still a neutral corner.
Well, he knows how to survive. I'm amazed he's lasted this long. The punches he's taken there.
Well, that reputation for durability is well deserved, but how much longer can this go on? And it's stopped, it's over, done. Of Anthony Joshua right now.
Yep, I agree with that, Nick. Yep, I mean, we don't want to see him overstretched, but we certainly do want to see him in a match that is least competitive. And Joshua
slipped inside there. Skelton's Joshua looked to land the right hand, but he's taking his time and measuring it up, and that right hand did another inside 2 rounds for Joshua, who takes his time, measures him up again. Skelton's all over the place. Steve Grace.
Joshua
slipped inside there. Skelton's Joshua looked to land the right hand, but he's taking his time and measuring it up, and that right hand did another inside 2 rounds for Joshua, who takes his time, measures him up again. Skelton's all over the place. Steve Grace.
quite the opposite from Joshua.
Slipped inside there. Skelton's Joshua looked to land the right hand, but he's taking his time and measuring it up, and that right hand inside 2 rounds for Joshua, who takes his time, measures him up again. Skelton's all over the place.
That Joshua possesses, that's terrific. And then you can see the play. You know, it was the body, and no argument from Matt Skelton.
Yeah, he was on the way down.
But he stays upright. Phil Edwards having a close look now. He's not going to want to see too much sustained punishment because Takav's not going to win this. Anthony Joshua now retains his world heavyweight title.
Looked like he was on course anyway, winning the rounds, and although some sticky moments and some defensive issues probably to tighten up on again, he was hit a few times.
Nice upper body movement as he comes forward. You know, he's given this a bit of thought. No, but we've seen him box before, but I've never seen him put so much thought into it. He's giving this a go. He's glad to be here.
Getting the high guard up there as Joshua died. Oh, that right hand up.
Knew was there, but he didn't overexert himself to find it. He waited to set it up, and area was the end again. In the middle of the combination, he got Matt Leg to bend down the way he did right there with the overhand.
Now there's a difference in Irish's body language now. He's felt the full power, and that was bang on the chin. He did well to take that and still be in there. Full credit to him.
And it gets another one. The towers come in, and he got absolutely slaughtered. Yeah, was it a bit of youthful enthusiasm? Yeah, was it a bit of spite? What do you think?
He get carried away. You know, he's used to finishing opponents, but you have to pay attention to that. I mean, when you think, can you imagine maybe a couple of warnings beforehand for low blow?
Picking some wicked body shots, and eventually Avila has to just hang on. But he's shaken up already. He looked at his corner there as if to say, what have you done to me? And he's gone.
It's not that his head scrambled. This is not a little bit of damage there. Yeah, that was a good shot.
Well, he was critical of himself last time, Anthony Joshua. Surely there's nothing not to like about that performance. Have a job to do because Baktov is so brave. He's standing up to this, but he is getting pounded, and Ian John Lewis did absolutely the right thing because Baktov, he's letting it go on. Well, I thought he was stopping it.
He should,
and he will, and he has.
The fight should really have been stopped there. Said box on, but thankfully he had a good look at Baktov, as you can see. A couple more shots. Then and he goes.
It's no argument, he was glad to be out of there. There's that rocks the head back, and then Joshua goes to work and puts it.
Almost over.
Can Joshua get the finish here in round 7? Everybody on their feet. Brazil fighting for his life now, and he's down. There's that rocks the head back, and then Joshua goes to work and puts it.
Almost over.
Can Joshua get the finish here in round 7? Everybody on their feet. Brazil fighting for his life now, and he's down. Joshua biding his time and then unloading again at Cornish, looking unsteady. Joshua looking to measure him up. Could this be gone in the first? He's caught him with another right hand, and Cornish British is in desperate
hand. It was knocking him onto his heels. I mean, look at the power and the jab there. Trying just to survive the crisis.
This time by a straight left, then caught by another left.
He's just so heavy-handed, Josh. He doesn't have the terrific right hand. Again, Darts did well to take that.
Darts is struggling. He's in trouble. And there is an argument to say that's enough, and it is.
Picks the right time to get him out of there. And it was pretty obvious. Now, that was it. You could see him all over the place. I mean, the way the first round ended when he was under heavy pressure, saved by the bell. There was no point. Probably envisaged doing this job a lot more cleanly than he's been able to do. But you can't fault it. He's facing a very experienced campaigner.
And down he goes again, left hand again.
Gavin was down, was well on the floor when that punch landed. You know, he's going to really have to be careful. And Gavin getting himself back up again.
Well, we saw that in his last fight, I think, Jim. And you know, he was asked about it afterwards, and he more or less just swatted it away. He is.
Body language says, I want out of there. I would have got him out of there.
I think one more punch will get him out of there, and I think Howard Foster's getting ready to step in here because nobody wants to see Butlin get hurt. Body shots coming in. He's all over the place here, and that's it. Something like that. But everything that you're asking him to do, everything you're hoping to see from him, you're seeing.
Yeah, and credit to Butlin, he didn't grab hold. So, you know, he came to put up a little bit of a show. He did that, so a bit of entertainment, and he played his part. But his part was over.